I hope you're all having a great day, California. Welcome back to our next segment. We're continuing along a little more about XUX CrossFit here in Fresno. I'm very excited to hear about this gym. I've seen it all over the place on the internet. I've heard about it from a lot of my CrossFit network, and it's even more exciting to me because my little brother is an active military veteran, and I'm really excited to hear, about what's going on in that veteran nonprofit and foundation world, because it's something that needs a lot of focus, and it's something that has a lot of cool things coming in the future. So it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Ronnie Montez. I really appreciate you stopping by today.
Thank you for having me.
You're a busy man. I was talking to you earlier, and you got a lot of stuff going on, especially with this gym. First off, I just want to hear a little bit about yourself. You're a very inspirational and connected person here in the Central Valley, and it sounds to me like if there's a disabled veteran or even a veteran in Fresno in general, they probably know you.
I wouldn't say all of them, but in our little community, it is a big community in Fresno, but a small community. Not very many people are involved with it, and that's what XUX is about, is trying to get involved within the veteran community here in Fresno, because it's a very important community to be involved with. I was a Marine for 12 and a half years. I spent as a Marine.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice to have a place like XUX Fresno where I can go and I can help people, because most importantly, that's what really makes me feel good, is being able to help those people, not just the veterans, but obviously, the normal people too.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Now, before we get too carried away, when we're talking about you, I have to say that mustache and your hair today you're killing it. Who takes care of you as far as the cosmetic?
Well, I take care of myself. The mustache is a work in progress.
All right.
The hairdo, I'm glad you like it, because my wife doesn't like it.
Yeah.
She told me to wear a hat over here. So.
But
I do all my own grooming. So if you guys need help, tips, give me a call.
Yeah, we'll throw your Facebook and your Instagram up there afterwards if you guys need any mustache tips or someone to help you on the products to use. You got them right here. We're providing you with all kinds of cool stuff. So XUX is very, I think, important to the Central Valley, whether people know it or not. It's community. That's the #1 word, and that's what we're trying to build with our show, California Health and Fitness. We're trying to build a nice, tight-knit, traditional community, something that you have a support group. You can ask questions. You don't have to pay a bunch of money for advice. You even have education and knowledge within that community. So, what did you do to start this community? Who is involved? What are you guys out there doing right now outside of the gym?
Outside of the gym, we're working with the Cashin Foundation too to develop a homeless building for homeless veterans, because there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of veterans who are on the streets right now, and we couldn't have had this opportunity if it wasn't for XUX. But that being aside, we are trying to work on a building near near an area where there's it's kind of a cool opportunity for Chris and myself, which is the co-founder of XUX, one of the co-founders. We were fortunate enough to meet Mr. Cashin and get involved with something like this to help out our military veterans, because really that's why we're there, and that's why XUX exists, is not only to create the awareness of the hundreds and thousands of veterans that are here in the Central Valley, but to help them out.
What a what a great partner to have, Cashin. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you guys get to work a little bit with him. Now, how did you start XUX? How have you funded all this? Well, let's put the brick and mortar down.
Like I said, I met Chris probably about a year and a half ago. I'm not one of the co-founders. I am the CEO over there and head competitors coach over there. But it's kind of a unique story of how I met Chris. I actually was hanging out at a bar one day, getting something to eat, and I got to talking to this guy who had his son getting ready to go in the military, a Marine, matter of fact, and he looks over at me and mentioned, "Have you heard about the gym that kind of tailors toward military veterans?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Well, they were on the news the other day." So immediately I went home and I started searching on the internet for this video, and I ended up finding it. And I went over to the place one day, rode up on my Harley, had my resume, because it's the mission that they had there sounded like something that I wanted to be involved with. Coming from a military background, like Ruben and I did, that was a place for me to go to, and to kind of get that sense of family and be around people who are like-minded. So I rode up on my Harley, had my resume in hand. I walked in the gym. There was a couple kids that were sitting in there, and I asked, who's the owner of the gym? And they're like, oh, it's Chris, but he's not here right now. I was like, okay, do you know when he's going to be back? A couple hours. So I handed my resume. I was like, all right, I'll be back in a couple hours. Came back in a couple hours. Chris was sitting in the office there, and him and I just, we really hit it off. We probably talked for maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours about the way he wanted to go and just everything about XUX and what it was about and what our mission was. And I couldn't. That day it was awesome because that was something that I was missing because I got out of the military and I wanted to be a part of it. So right then and there, we talked for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it was history.
I don't know how
history in the making
for other people, but for me, when I find somebody that's as crazy and as weird as I am, and you just kick it off and have a good conversation, it's a great feeling. Yeah, because you realize that there's crazy people out there like you as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I heard you have some events coming up. You guys got a lot of cool future plans. So first, let's hear about your events.
Okay. So on December 11th to the 13th, we have our DAV Patriot Games, which is an event that we put on last year. It did really well.
And I'm sorry, you said that's December 11th through 13th, right?
Through the 13th,
awesome.
Yep.
You guys write that down.
You can also go to davpatriotgames.com. You can find out more information about how to sign up, be a competitor, whatnot.
Cool.
But it originally started with Chris and I sitting down and talking, and a few other people about how can we create awareness for our veterans. And this was one way through the fitness community that we can, because in the fitness community, there are a lot of veterans, and there are a lot of top athletes in the functional fitness industry or the CrossFit industry that are veterans and who can get the word out. So what better way to do it than do it by doing something we love, and that's competing, and that's throwing a fitness competition.
And from experience, I think veterans make some of the best coaches because they push you. There's no excuse not to do it. And you've always been in a worse situation. You've always had to do more. And
they're very meticulous too.
Yeah. So you make sure you get in there and you get a good workout, and you somehow, I don't know why, you leave with a smile, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So they love you and they hate you so much within an hour. That's an awesome event we got coming up. You guys curated that, right?
Yeah, so that's our event that we created to kind of create the awareness of veterans. Most importantly, we had a conversation before about the 22 veterans who take their lives a day, and here in the Central Valley, we're a huge part of that 22, and a lot of people don't know that. So we want to bring that awareness to the community. So the cool thing about our gym and the event that we're doing is, and the fitness industry just in general, is you can meet people who know people who know people that know people. And it just gets to an area where, those veterans that we are trying to help out, they can come to us because we can outsource them to somebody else that can help them better if we can't help them inside the gym. And really that's what it's about, and that's what XUX is about, is to kind of create that environment to where they can come to us, and if we can't help them, we can point them to somebody else.
As healthy as it gets. I mean, health goes as far as the air you breathe. Yep. Health is finding that community, being part of something that's spiritual health, having that family feel, and you always have someone to turn to. So what's in the future for XUX? Are you guys going to have multiple locations? Are
we've talked about that.
Doing more games?
Yeah, we've talked about that. Hopefully that's the case, because again, we're here to try to create that awareness for not only veterans but the 22, and if we can do it in the other cities, that would be awesome.
And I'm sure there's a ton of people here in our community and yours as well that are willing to come together and help. A lot of the time, just giving some time is a lot more than writing a check. Yeah, don't get me wrong, money makes the world go round, but
it does.
You definitely you got to have some of that human labor. That's a little harder to find sometimes.
Absolutely.
So this is the first time I've ever heard of the Patriot Games. Is this the first year?
It's the second year.
Second year, cool.
Second year, yep.
Cool, and it's how many people did you have show up last year?
Oh boy, what do you say, a few hundred people?
Wow.
A few hundred people.
So this year you're probably expecting a good 1,000?
Yeah, we're hoping we do.
Super cool. Yeah. Anything we could do to promote that, we'd love to help.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely throw that on our YouTube page. Let's see if we can get some of our viewers to help.
Absolutely.
So we're almost out of time, but I want to ask you, how can we get involved with schools? Something I ask almost every guest, whether they're involved in services, products, nonprofits, foundation, what can we do here in the Central Valley to make it a better place, to create healthier people, to create better schools, better education, and even lower that suicide rate?
Just like what we're doing, just be willing to learn, be willing to be open to information. Grab that information, pass it on, because it's a domino effect. You pass it on to somebody's going to pass it on to somebody else. But education is the key, and the willingness to do it and to soak up that information, to educate other people. That's really the best way to do it. Social media is a great thing.
Social media is a huge
it's a
way.
great thing.
I think you need to write a book. I think you need to write a book on creating other leaders such as yourself. I think it's very important, because a very famous quote is, leaders don't get followers, they create other leaders, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about Chris. Kind of interested to hear a little bit
Chris
more about
is a cool
him.
dude. I wish he was here. I don't know why he's not here.
Next time.
But yeah,
Next time.
Chris is a cool guy. He's another military veteran, Army, combat veteran as well.
Cool.
And he has the same passion that I do to help our military veterans. He would go to lengths beyond lengths to help out a veteran. I mean, we come out of our own pocket.
Right.
We have been doing that for a year and a half, and it's been a struggle. But he's been there, and he's put a lot into that gym to make it run, and sacrifice a lot. And I mean, that just shows his character right there. He's willing to put a lot of people, before him, as I am, as a lot of the people that we do have in our gym. And I guess that's Chris in a nutshell. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. Him and I hit it off. Like I said,
awesome.
We were kind of like
awesome.
the same person.
He's going to see this, so we're going to get him here pretty soon.
Yeah, we will.
Super
Chris
cool.
is.
I also, I'm sorry, what was that?
No, I was going to point at that little picture we had going up.
Oh, we got another one. Which one's he?
We did. So let's see. He's the bald guy. Let's see. I don't know where he's at in this picture. Oh, he's the guy on the far right in the gray shirt with the red hat. That's Chris right there.
So go get him on Facebook right now.
To the right. There you go, right there.
For you. That's awesome.
Blast him.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I hope my little brother and his friends are watching this too, because he has a good military community out on the East Coast. Thank you so much for tuning into the first half of our show. We have 2 more guests coming up, so stay tuned. Mr. Ronnie, I really, really appreciate you coming by. This is something that CentralValleyTalk.com supports quite a bit, and we can't wait to see more from XUX. Thank you for all your hard work in the community.
Appreciate you having us.
We'll
Thank
see you next time. Coming back with one of our local actors and models, Mr. Mikey DeMuso. Stay tuned. California Health and Fitness.
This segment brought to you by Tioga Sequoia Brewery. Central Valley Talk is fueled by Tioga Sequoia Brewery in downtown Fresno.
Sunshine Natural Health in Tulare, California is your source for nature's best remedies. Call Sunshine Natural Health at 559-688-2063 and get healthy. There's a better way to optimize productivity and quality of life at work. Call High Point